The United Nations proclaimed human rights in its Universal Declaration as inherent and inalienable. However, the world remains the same for persons with disabilities. Protection of their dignity and access to equal rights are still a distant dream. This in spite of the fact that realization of these rights are seen as the foundation of justice, peace and freedom. The UN Decade of the Disabled Persons from 1983 to 1993 also featured a world program of action concerning disabled persons, but it too failed in providing relief to the disabled. This stark reality led the United Nations to formally agree on the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities in December 2006. It is the first human rights treaty of the 21st century to protect and enhance the rights and opportunities of the world's estimated 650 million disabled people.
The constitutions of most countries now provide for human rights, and most human beings recognize that human rights are fundamental to the enjoyment of life, to the humanity and to the development of all people on this universe. Now, people with disabilities are disadvantaged, they are vulnerable, they are treated as if they are not human beings, and this consequence means that people with disability need the enjoyment of human rights even more so than people who have no disability. It is for this reason that most constitutions provide for equality, most constitutions provide for non-discrimination against people with disability, but many countries don't obey their own constitutions to achieve this result. Now the position has been assisted considerably by the adoption of the International Convention on the Rights of People with Disability. This is an international convention which, if countries accede to it and adopt it and ratify it, will bind many countries and ensure that their laws and their constitutions comply with international standards in relation to people with rights and people with disabilities who have rights. It is in these circumstances that these international conventions are vitally important. But what is more important in these international conventions is their monitoring. You see, countries are quite happy to ratify these conventions on the basis that they will not be monitored. However, there is an optional protocol which requires governments to comply with the convention and obliges monitoring, and I must emphasize that governments are obliged to sign these protocols as well.
While India has been very proactive in the entire process, which finally led to our being a signatory to the Convention on Rights of Persons with Disabilities, it is now important for us to work towards realizing the objectives of the Convention, even if this means amending our existing laws.
India is a country of over 70 million disabled persons. It's a country with a wonderful constitution. Article 21, the right to life, covers all disabled persons. Article 14, the Equality Clause, makes it impossible for the state to discriminate against disabled persons. Article 19, the right to travel and reside, the right to speech and so on, also covers disabled persons. We also have a wonderful Disabilities Act that was made over a decade ago. Wonderful laws